we're ready to begin.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. 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 הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shalom, everyone. I'm so thrilled that all of us can be here today. I'm walking a little closer, hoping this mic is going to pick me up, but I want to be able to see all of you, see Polina, and welcome and say hello to everybody who is watching on live stream and on Zoom from all over the world. We're so honored that you are with us today. You may not be able to see me because I think you can see Polina right now, but just know that we are so thrilled that you are with us as we gather on this beautiful Shabbat morning to celebrate this day of rest, to celebrate this young woman who has worked so hard for this day for so many months, and we're so proud of you. So we're going to begin this morning after those beautiful words of welcome sung by our cantor with this moment where first time Polina gets to officially wear a talit, a prayer shawl. And the first time a young person does this is when they become bar and bat mitzvah. So Polina, I want to bring up your wonderful parents. We're going to help place that shawl around your shoulder and share a blessing. So Polina, this beautiful talit, you can come right over so we can see you. This beautiful talit, Polina, it's not just a piece of fabric. It represents so much more. What I understand a talit to be about is, first of all, when we place it around our shoulders, it's a message that something is different and special. We're ready to pray. But what I think it also represents is the thousands of years of Jewish history, our ancestors, who also placed this talit around their shoulders when they were ready to pray. And the idea by wearing this is that we're wrapped up within them and they're holding us in essence because we're wrapped around them and they're wrapped around us. And so when we wear it, we feel a connection to past and present. We feel a connection in some essence to what came before and what will be in the future, knowing that someday we may wrap our children within it as well. And what we also acknowledge is thousands of years, women were not actually welcome into this ritual, into this moment. And so you're representing grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers who were not allowed or able to become bat mitzvah. And so you stand on their shoulders too, knowing that they would have been so proud of you and so proud of this moment. So if your parents want to place that around your shoulders, and if you all three of you want to repeat after me, Baruch, Atah, Adonai, Eloheinu, Melech, Haolam, Asher, Kidshanu, B'mitzvotav, Vitzivanu, Lahit Atef, Batzitzi. And what that means is, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who commands us to wrap ourselves, to feel that embrace of the fringed talit. Amen. And so your mom and dad can go grab seats, and you're up here with us as we now turn back into our service. In just a moment, we will call ourselves to prayer with words of Baruch. And I invite everybody who's listening to rise in body or in spirit. And so please rise if you're here with us in this community today. As looking after Lisa. Continue on in our service as we turn to those central prayers of our faith, that word, that prayer of Shema that declares that God as one. We're on page 318, and Polina is going to help lead us as we join with her.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
And if you're standing, please be seated as we turn to the next page, 319, and Paulina leads us in these words of Ve'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'aderech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem, amen. So, Paulina, one of the most important practices of our tradition is not only prayer, and it's not only Torah, but it's the idea that each of us individually is supposed to strive to make the world better. And we do that because we have this collective memory of what it once meant to be, what it once meant to not have our freedom, to not have choices available to us. And so we understand freedom not just to mean that we can do whatever we want, but freedom to mean that we treat others with kindness and respect, and that we try to do good in the world to the best of our own ability, knowing we're not always perfect. We sometimes miss mark, but we're supposed to try. And so I know that that's something that you do every day. When we sing this beautiful prayer, Mika Mocha, it reminds us of that miracle, that moment that we crossed the Red Sea and went from slavery to freedom. And it's a reminder that God was there, and a reminder of all it is that we are supposed to do. We praise the miracle, but also remind ourselves that we have lots of work to do. And so the cantor is going to lead us on page 322 with words of Mitzvah Mocha, and anybody who'd like, please join me as we sing with her. We have sung those words reminding us of the value and the work to be free. We turn to the central prayers that we pray almost every single time we gather together as Jews, the words of the Amidah. This prayer is long and multifaceted. There's many sections. And we're going to chant a few of them today, and then we're going to spend some time in silent prayer as well, with the words of our own hearts or the words on these pages. And so we're going to begin. Polina is going to start us off on page 323 with what we call an iyun. This is a setting of intention. It's more like a meditation that helps us get into the prayer space of then being able to share those next important words. The prayer that comes after it is called the Avot V'Imahot, and it's a reminder that we stand on the shoulders of so many people that came before. And then the prayer following that Polina will also chant is called the Gibburot, that reminds us that also, in addition to those people that we respect and remember, also God, who we stand with and upon. And we go from there into some other more silent prayers and a few other pieces around gratitude that I'll explain when we get there. But we are now on page 323. Polina is going to start us off with Adonai Tzivatai Tikach. We'll join her. We'll turn the next page and we'll see the other two prayers she's going to help lead there. I invite everybody to please rise in body or in spirit.
Adonai Tzivatai Tiftach Ufi Yagi Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotinu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot, U'mei Gula Livnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol atah, Rav Lehoshia, Mechalkel Ha'im Bechesed חסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמנותך להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
So at this time, we now take a few moments to pray the words on the following pages. Some of them are about gratitude for all we have. Some of them are about things we hope for and need in the world. And then we take a few moments to pray silently the words we find in our own hearts. We conclude at the end of this section of prayer with the words of Oseh Shalom on page 337 as we pray for peace. And you're invited to stand and then be seated when you feel ready to do so. So let's continue silently for a few moments. We turn now in our service to words of Seder Kriyat HaTorah, where we prepare to read in just a moment from the Torah. And so what I'm going to ask Polina to happen at this time is for your mom and dad to come forward. And if you want to take that reading piece that you're reading from, that you're propping your book on, and if you want to just place it on the floor behind you, so it's out of the way in the moment, and you want to be ready to undress the Torah. And you're going to need your notebook, so keep your notebook out there. Perfect. So we're on page 364. What's going to happen is your mom is going to pick the Torah up and hold it, and they're going to stand next to you. And we're going to sing first the 2 lines of Hebrew at the top of 364. Turn the page, sing the 2 lines of Hebrew at the top of page 366. Everyone, please rise. Please join me as we share together. Mitzvah, Torah. Mitzvah, Torah, Adonai Mirushalayim. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah. Li'amo Yisrael B'kedushato. Polina, embedded in this beautiful scroll is the heart of our people, the stories, the texts, the traditions, the practices, the memories. And it's not just what's embedded in that scroll that we hold in our hearts, it's all of the pieces, oral pieces, written and unwritten, that are a part of our tradition that we believe are contained within that text. What we're also taught is that each of us represent a letter in that scroll. Each of our stories are mingled and become part of that story and history of our people and what is contained within the gospel. And so today, as you become bat mitzvah, in just a moment, a lot of your friends, your beautiful family who's on with us on Zoom today, they're also going to share some things that they hope to pass down to you in this moment. And then your mom and dad are going to pass that Torah scroll to you. And you're going to take hold of it. And when you do, we know that your letter is really firmly embedded in that history and story of our people. And so to begin with the sharing, I'm honored to invite Ilana to share her thought, her sentence about what it is she'd like to pass to you on this day. And Ilana, perfect. There you are. And you can share with us now. You're not on mute anymore.
Илона, ты можешь говорить.
Полиночка, дорогая, мы с твоей мамой подружились, когда были вдвое меньше, чем ты сейчас. Теперь нас разделяет океан. Но мы поддерживаем теплые отношения. Умей дружить. Цени дружбу, она объединяет большой мир. Поздравляю тебя.
And as Alana had shared, we move to Simon if he wants to share what he hands to you today, Polina.
Polina, привет. Enjoy your life and your mission. Be healthy and happy. Yeah, enjoy.
Thank you.
And Tatiana and Mike.
Дорогая Полина, во всех ситуациях и всегда сохраняй критическое мышление. Будь независимой, и это даст тебе силу в твоей жизни.
Полина, я тоже добавлю. Две главные традиции в еврейской жизни – это образование и семья. Твои родители преуспели в этом, а теперь у тебя есть обязанность и ответственность поддерживать это. Удачи.
Thank you.
Polina, I don't understand Russian, but your face does well. So I know what this is about. And so also here in person, we wanted to invite Liz and then Vadim and then Anna to share some things that they're thinking about, what they want to hand to you today. And actually, if you want to stay over here because of this, there's a mic right here so everybody can hear.
Dear Polinka, may everything you say and do bring good and kindness to the world. May you always be blessed.
Okay. I've known you like forever, and there's nobody else I'd rather grow up with. And I wish for you to stay as happy and energetic as you always are, especially with me. And I want to keep making more memories with you. Mazel tov.
And I want to say, Polina, that you have such a great personality. When you're around, you make other people feel better. So please remember that and keep doing this. It will help everyone. And
if you can head back to your team, thank you so much. And on page 366, the cantor will share with us these beautiful words of Shema, the central prayer of our faith. As we sing together, your mom is going to pass the Torah to you, Polina, and you take hold on this day on your own as an adult in our community. And so, Cantor, whenever you are ready.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
And now we're honored to invite your wonderful sister to come on up to help with the undressing of the scroll.
Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la la la.
Polina, if you can close the scroll up and just grab a seat for just a moment. So we are so thrilled on this day that Polina is reading from a beautiful and really challenging section of text. It's called Parshat, or portion Bechukotai. What she reads about today on this day is the idea that in our world there are blessings and goodness, and there are also challenges, right? And that we struggle a little bit to understand how God works within the context of all of this. And so in just a little bit, Polina is going to do some wonderful teaching and help us to understand her thoughts a little bit more about how all of this works and fits together, what she thinks about in the world, what she thinks about goodness and blessing and challenge, and some of the wonderful good things that she's done to help make our world a better place. But first, she's going to chant incredibly beautifully from our text. So for our first Aliyah this morning, Polina, we're honored to invite your wonderful grandma, Valentina, to come forward, who's going to share the blessings. You want to stand up, get ready to read, and your grandmother is going to. Oh, wonderful. Oh, perfect. So your grandfather's coming to come.
Baruch et Adonai Hamarach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Polina, whenever you're ready. Take up that yad.
Im b'chukotai telechu ve'et mitzotai tishmeru v'asitem otam v'natati gishmechem v'itam v'natna ha'aretz yevula ve'etz hasadeh yitain piryo v'isik lachem daish et batzir uvatzir yasik et zara ואכלתם לחמכם לשובע, וישבתם לבטח בארצכם. ונתתי שלום בארץ, ושכבתם ואין מחריד, והשפעתי חיה רעה מן הארץ, וחרב לא תעבור בארצכם.
If your grandmother can join you to share the blessing after the Torah reading.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת, וחיי עולם נתן בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. You're going to give them huge hugs, Polina, okay?
Yes.
I know how proud they are. Give them
Сладкий. Сладенький ты мой. Давай я теперь сяду. Ага. Непривычно.
Wonderful. And if you want,
А теперь
if your
теперь
grandparents
я
want to
буду
sit down, they can
читать.
stay in the seats up
Ага.
here or they can go sit. Oh, I'm so sorry. Your grandmother is going to share a few
Читаю.
thoughts with you.
Russian. Дорогая внученька, сегодня я впервые присутствую на такой церемонии бат-мицва, что по еврейским законам ты теперь будешь совершеннолетняя. Но ты моя младшенькая внученька, все старшие уже взрослые, ты единственная, кто родилась в Соединенных Штатах. У них, конечно, не было бат-мицвы. Ага, когда ты читала Тору и пела, это меня удивило по-настоящему. Еще и выучить иврит. Это для меня... Я невольно вспомнила тебя маленькой, двухлетней, когда в любую погоду ты безропотно одевалась, и мы с тобой шли по Ньютону и шли к школе, где около километра, без коляски, чтобы поиграть на площадке, на горке. Помнишь, да? Перемену туда же прибегали школьники, а ты спокойно оставляла горку, без криков, без протеста какого-то. Перемена, слетай опять на горку. Так мы с тобой проводили четкое время. Или когда, помнишь, ходили в парк недалеко от дома, где росли две елочки. Вернее, одна елочка, одна пихточка. Ты все мне определяла. Это твоя, это моя. Да. И вокруг них мы пели «В лесу родилась елочка». Теперь, когда я пришла, елочки, ого, и поле выросло. Все идет как по плану. Когда я думала, как был бы счастлив твой прапрадедушка Арон, который, узнав, что у его дочери Полины, которая была настоящая коммунистка, у которой был муж арестован в 1937 году, реабилитирован в 1954, вот, посмертно уже, правнучка вдруг проходит бат-мицву. Для него это было бы такое счастье. Вот с моим дедушкой Ароном я познакомилась, когда мне было 7 лет, во время войны. Я и моя мама были в эвакуации в Караганде, и он туда же прибежал со своей женой после долгих странствий из Беларуси, из Речицы, когда немцы очень быстро наступали. Вот. И все имущество, которое у него с собой, они с собой принесли, это было кипа, талос, тфилин, на который мы очень удивленно смотрели. Все для нас это, все религиозное облачение для нас было удивительным. Вот. Тогда меня, ребенка, это все очень поражало. Сейчас я лучше понимаю своего деда. Как хорошо, что мы столько прошли с тобой вместе. Помнишь, как на Crystal Lake я тебя на Кипкозе учила тебя держаться на воде и плавать по собачьи. Дальше уже вступили родители. счастливо проплываешь километры по всем озерам. И твои выступления по художественной гимнастике для нас с твоим дедушкой куда интереснее, чем любой фильм. Это же наша родная, тихая, скромная внучка поднимает ноги выше головы, садится на шпагат и вообще такие пируэты сделает на ковре. Я искренне считала, что такое мастерство доступно только избранным, но никак не членам моей семьи. Твое участие в концертах театральной литературной студии по-настоящему вызывает гордость за тебя. Хороший русский язык, понимаешь всю глубину литературного произведения, будто мы находимся во Дворце пионеров на Невском, а не в Ньютоне, в штате Массачусетс. Твои рисунки и изделия из керамики удивительные. Уже сейчас в доме постоянно действующая выставка. А наше с тобой музицирование, когда тебе было 1,5-2 года. Помнишь этот учебник по музыке? Играть на пианино, где начиналась учеба, с 5 пальцами можно было играть. И первое, с чего начинали, это кусок из 9-й симфонии Бетховена. Что это вершина нашего успеха. А потом ты научилась уже играть по-настоящему, выступала в концертах, что, конечно, нас это все очень радовало. Ну, а лыжи и туризм – это уже наше семейное увлечение. И, надеюсь, это будет с тобой всю жизнь, ну, как и у родителей, и у нас, пока мы могли. Я хочу пожелать тебе, получающей сегодня статус взрослой, здоровья, успеха в учебе, в спорте, гимнастике, лыжах, плавании, туризме, в литературе, рисовании, лепке. И что дальше будет, не знаю еще. Наверное, все будет хорошо. Карантин кончится, и все вернутся к нормальной жизни. Удачи тебе, моя родная.
Спасибо.
Удачи.
Бабушка все сказала. Да не выхода. У нас ангел. Я пройдусь.
Dad, get your grandparents settled. And then we'll continue with our again, all I needed to see was your grandmother's face. And so I'm honored now to invite your sister to join you, Anna, to share the words of the second Aliyah to us.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol hamim. Venatan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Amen. Hordaftem et oivechem, venaflu lifnechem lechara, veratfu mikem hamisha, mea, umea mikem rivava yirdofu, venaflu oivechem, lifnechem lechara. Ufaniti alechem, vehifreiti etchem, vehirbeti etchem, vahakimoti et beriti itchem, vachaltem yashan, yoshan, yashan, mipnei chadash, totziu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amazing. Polina, your sister has a few times to hold.
Polina. First of all, let me say how proud I am of you. Thank you for leading us so beautifully in the Torah service today. According to our tradition, as a bat mitzvah, you gain new responsibilities as you enter into the world of adulthood. You know that. You already play many roles masterfully. You're a kind and thoughtful daughter, granddaughter, and sister, loyal friend, diligent student, and even occasionally a terrific roommate and paddleboard co-captain, not to mention talented gymnast, artist, skier, almost an Instagram influencer, just kidding, and the list goes on. I wouldn't presume to give you advice on how to be a responsible adult. That's for you to figure out in our complex modern world. But since the ceremony also marks your entry into an independent Jewish journey, I'd like to use this moment to give you my take. So take from it what you will. Rabbi Hillel famously summarized Judaism like this: that which is despicable to you, do not do to your fellow. This is the whole Torah, the rest is commentary, go and learn it. Because he's a very wise fellow, he's probably right. So here's my Spark Notes extension. First, always ask questions. You're already very good at this. The Jewish tradition of inquiry is ancient and long-lived. From the 5 books of Moses to volumes of medieval scholarship to the writings of modern Jewish thinkers, remember that your heritage offers a treasure trove of wisdom too, and at the very least, interesting anthropological commentary to peruse. So, lesson 1 in everything, keep on learning, keep on asking questions. It makes life more fun. Second, embrace your community. It's no surprise today we're joined by family and friends from across the country and the world. Thank you for being with us. From our extended family and friends, to our synagogue, to your friends from school, camp, and numerous after-school activities, you're lucky to have so many different communities around you. Recognize that this is a gift. Third and finally, celebrate with joy and often. My favorite part of the week is Shabbat dinner, when on Friday night we light candles together and unwind. As you grow older and navigate adulthood, remember you've got a reason to celebrate at least once a week. Jewish tradition teaches that joy is our responsibility. Seize it whenever you can. And of course, remember that you have a big cheerleading squad behind you in everything that you do. I love you, Mazda.
Thank you so much, Gary. Polina, I'm now honored to invite your mom and dad to join you up at the Torah for your 3rd Aliyah this morning, as they share the blessing.
Baruch Adonai Hamorach, Baruch Adonai Hamorach leolam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Hamorach leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
ונתתי משכני בתוככם, ולא תגאל נפשי אתכם, והתהלכתי בתוככם, והייתי לכם לאלוהים, ואתם תהיו לי לעם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם עבדים, ואשבור מוטות עולכם, והולך אתכם קוממיות. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata betorheinu. Baruch atah Adonai Nateinu haTorah.
Amen. Your mom and dad are going to stay stay up there, Polina, as we turn to the fourth Aliyah. We are honored to invite you for the first time as our Bat Mitzvah to recite this lesson every Aliyah. Tamod, 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 Esther, Bat Mitzvah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
V'lo tishme'u li v'lo tasu et kol hamitzvot ha'eleh ve'im b'chukotai tim'asu ve'im et mishpatai tiv'al nafshechem levilti asot et kol mitzvotai lehafrechem et beriti afani e'esezot lachem והפקדתי עליכם בחלה את השחפת ואת הקדחת מחלות עיניים ומדיבות נפש וזרעתם לריק זרעכם ואכלוהו אויביכם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Yeh lanu. Yeh lanu. U'lechol Yisrael. Yeh lanu. U'lechol Yisrael. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and simen tov. Simen tov and mazel tov and mazel tov. Absolutely beautiful Torah reading this morning, Polina. So many months of hard work that went really quickly, right? Get the feeling? So we're now going to prepare to put the Torah away back in the ark. On page 374, we can find these words. It's the fourth paragraph of Hebrew down, beginning with Eitz Chaim. I invite everybody to please rise as the cantor leads us.
Eitz Chaim hi המחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש חדש ימינו חדש ימינו כקדם. And Polina has led us so beautifully in prayer and has read from the Torah with great aplomb. I think that's the word that comes to mind. Just such beautiful chanting this morning. And she's going to chant a little bit more for us. So we pair our Torah text with a text from one of the books of the prophets. And this morning, Polina will be leading us in the blessings for the Haftarah, and she'll be chanting from the book of Jeremiah. And it's connected to this portion because of that difficult idea of reward and punishment, which you'll hear a bit more. You'll hear Polina's amazing take on this concept in just a few moments. But first, she will lead us in those blessings and chant these words for us this morning.
So Polina, because we couldn't hear it all, Polina is going to first share with us her Haftarah, the blessing before the Haftarah, her Haftarah, which comes from the book of Jeremiah, the blessing after the Haftarah, and then her Devar Torah, some words from the text of where she's going to teach us a little bit about her Torah portion today. All right, so Polina, whenever you're ready.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai Abocher b'Torah ובמשה עבדו ובישראל עמו ובנביאי האמת בצדק. חטאת יהודה כתובה בעת ברזל בציפורן שמיר חרושה על לוח ליבם ולקרנות מזבחותיכם כי יזכור בניהם מזבחותם ואשריהם על עץ רענן על גבעות הגבוהות הררי בשדה חילך חותרותיך לבז אתן במותיך בחטאת בכל גבולך ושמטת ובך מנהלתך אשר נתתי לך והבאתיך את אויביך בארץ אשר לא ידעת כי אש קירחתם באפי עד עולם תוקע. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל העולמים צדיק בכל הדורות האל הנאמן האומר ועושה המדבר ומקיים שכל דבריו אמת וצדק על התורה ועל העבודה ועל הנביאים ועל יום השבת הזה שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Shabbat Shalom and welcome everyone. We are here today in a very different way than how we had imagined. Even though some of us are here in person and others are online, we're still able to come together. I'm so glad that despite coronavirus and quarantine, we could still make this service possible. It is amazing that we were able to overcome this challenge together and gather in this unique way. This makes the service even more special. My Torah portion is called Bechukotai, and it is from the book of Leviticus. In Bechukotai,
God speaks to Moses at the summit of Mount Sinai. God first describes the rewards the people will get if they follow God's laws and obey God's commandments. God describes rewards such as rains, flourishing crops, peace from wild beasts, and power over enemies. Then, God begins to describe the punishments the people will receive if they do not follow God's laws and obey God's commandments. God's punishments include diminishing crops, powerlessness over enemies, wild beasts, and the death of cattle. Finally, God declares one last and most cruel punishment: the cannibalism of one's own children. This statement contradicts another statement that God had made, that children will not have to suffer because of their parents' mistakes. Clearly, the thought of the people not following God's commandments enrages God so much that God makes a statement that opposes another one of God's statements. It is notable that in Bechukotai, God lists many more punishments than rewards. This is perhaps because in the days when the Torah was written, it was much more effective to offer punishments than rewards, as punishment served as a stronger incentive. God's threats are so horrifying and unfathomable that they give God a lot of power over us and definitely motivate people to act righteously. Think about it. If God can cast any punishment, one so awful you can't even imagine it, you will definitely try to be a good person and follow God's laws. Today, as you might relate, daily life looks a bit different. With a pandemic going on around the world, rewards are good incentives for motivating people to help others and do what it takes to overcome this situation. Since there are already so many struggles that could be considered punishments in our current scenario, yet another punishment may not be as effective as it might be without a pandemic going. While I don't necessarily think that the coronavirus is a punishment from God, it is certainly not a reward. Some things happen naturally, since the world we live in is not perfect. Also, I don't believe that God would really punish people so harshly for bad behavior. I don't believe in that kind of God. What could be considered a sort of punishment from God is God giving us an imperfect world where we have to work to make it better ourselves. God hasn't caused coronavirus, but this pandemic is a challenge, a curse, to all of us, and we have to do better. Humans were given intelligence, kindness, and compassion, and we must use them now. Not only do we need to do everything we can to keep ourselves safe, but we are also responsible for keeping others safe. We need to support all of the first responders, those who are sick, and their families. Our belief in God and our understanding that God gave us the world to make it better is the way that we can find blessings or rewards. I don't think we should be afraid of God and God's punishment. He created us and loves us, and God certainly did not create us to be punished for every mistake that we make. We need to learn to repair and move past our mistakes, to take on challenges, to overcome obstacles that are thrown our way. God gave us an imperfect world with the thought that we need to do the work to make it a better place, and that is our punishment and our reward. During quarantine, there are so many people living by themselves, especially elderly people, that don't get to see others, go places, or even go outside. Since the elderly are more vulnerable to coronavirus, they must be protected more and under much stricter quarantine. Though this keeps them safe and prevents them from getting coronavirus, quarantine can take a huge toll on people mentally. Being all alone for months is incredibly difficult, so clearly many people get lonely and very sad. My family and I took in my grandparents, who had previously been living in an apartment building in the middle of Boston. Around mid-April, we decided that it was not safe at all for them to be living there, so we set up bedrooms for them so they could live with us. Though my parents, sister, and I were busy during the day, we still got to see them and talk to them during meals, in the morning, evening, and on the weekends. Sometimes we would go on walks around our neighborhood, do yoga, or read to them. We learned more about my grandparents and got to know them better, and they got to know us better. We told them about our school or work. Sometimes they watched me doing gymnastics, and they told us about their own life. This helped my grandparents so much and made sure that they did not feel so lonely, bored, or sad throughout quarantine. Although this didn't happen to my grandparents, many elderly people have been struggling through this pandemic all by themselves, and there are ways to make this easier for them. Everyone here can do something to help others who may be lonely in quarantine. If they're able to go outside, you could visit them somewhere like their own backyard, and staying far away, just talk to them. Just one conversation with someone that cares can make someone's day so much better and can make them less lonely. If you can't visit in person, you can call, Skype, FaceTime, Zoom, or use any other way of communication online, preferably when you can hear each other and see each other. Not being together in person is different than being physically together, but can also help someone a lot. Finally, I want to say that this person doesn't necessarily have to be someone you know, like a grandparent, other elderly family member, or a friend. It could be a friend of a friend, or someone that you may have heard of and gotten in touch with. Helping anyone you can and just talking can make such a huge impact on someone in quarantine, and it is so easy and does not take much of your time. I encourage all of you to reach out to people you know who are having a hard time while isolated alone and try to make their day better. For my Mitzvah project, at first I was planning on going to some senior homes and performing a gymnastics routine with some of my teammates from gymnastics. However, when COVID-19 began to spread around Massachusetts and all of the senior homes and senior daycares closed, this project became impossible to do. I hope that someday I will get to do this, but for now I am satisfied with what I was able to accomplish during the last 6 months and how my family and I were able to help my grandparents. To me, becoming a bat mitzvah means many things. You are more responsible and independent and aren't treated as a small child anymore. You have to make decisions for yourself and don't have the luxury of relying on others to make them for you. Your choices and actions should be determined by you because you became a bat mitzvah and a Jewish adult. The choice of having a bat mitzvah ceremony was my own, though I was supported by my family and friends. Because my parents and grandparents came from the Soviet Union, they didn't have the opportunity that I have to celebrate this moment. I wanted to carry on the tradition that had been stopped for several generations in my family. I am so lucky to have this opportunity. Not only does becoming a bat mitzvah connect me to my family and my family's traditions, but it gives me a strong connection to Judaism and to all of the Jews around the world. Today, I'd like to thank many people who have supported me in preparing for my bat mitzvah and throughout my life. First, I want to thank Rabbi Barry, Rabbi Bracely, and Cantor Shafritz. Thank you for your dedicated teaching, warm encouragement, and wise advice. Rabbi Barry, you helped me process and understand my Torah portion, giving me new ideas and inspiring me to develop my own. You helped me to uncover many different viewpoints and opinions about my Torah portion, giving me a richer appreciation of our tradition. Cantor Shafritz, thank you for your help on my Hebrew and your guidance in chanting the prayers, blessings, my portion, and my Haftarah. I also want to thank both of my tutors, Michelle Rubenstein and Jeff Wren. Without your help, I couldn't have learned all of that Hebrew. Thank you for your determination, support, and encouragement over the past several months that guided me to becoming a bat mitzvah. Thank you also to all of the teachers and staff at Temple Shalom. You created such a close community where I felt connected to everyone and got to spend time with and learn so much from others. If it weren't for all of the staff at Temple Shalom, I definitely wouldn't have gotten to where I am, standing on the bima and reading from the Torah. I also want to thank all of my friends, from Hebrew school, gymnastics, school, camp, and family friends. You have all been so kind, cheering me on and making me laugh. Every single one of you has helped me so much, making me the person I am today. Finally, I want to thank my family. First, my grandparents. Grandma and Grandpa, you are both such inspirations to me. You went through such difficult times in your life and came out stronger and wiser. Whenever I see you, you have so many stories to tell me and kind words to say. You are the most caring and warm-hearted people I have ever met, and I am so thankful to you for your example and for your love. Now I'll say it in Russian for them. Бабушка и дедушка, вы оба служите для меня примером и вдохновляете меня на полезные и добрые поступки. Вы прошли через такие тяжелые времена в своей жизни, стали сильнее и мудрее. Каждый раз, когда я вас вижу, вы рассказываете мне очень интересные истории и говорите добрые, важные слова. Вы самые заботливые и добрые люди, которых я когда-либо встречала. И я очень благодарна вам за ваш пример и за вашу заботу и любовь. Another huge inspiration to me is my sister. Anna, you are such a hardworking, smart, kind, and funny sister. You're always there when I need you, and you challenge me to do my best. You inspire me to do what I love, and you encourage me to think deeper about things. I couldn't ask for a better sister, so thank you. Finally, I want to thank my parents. Mom and Dad, it is because of you that I am standing here today, because of all of your encouragement and advice. My whole life you have cared for me, helping me if I needed help, and challenged me. You encouraged me to do my best, work hard, and be kind to others. If I had a problem, I knew I could always come to you, and you would help me. There is no possible way that I could have read from the Torah today without you, and I am eternally grateful for that. Спасибо всем за то, что были здесь со мной сегодня, и Shabbat Shalom. Thank you to everyone for being here with me today, and Shabbat Shalom.
Polina, thank you for sharing such beautiful words. And I want to invite your mom and dad to share a few thoughts with you on this wonderful day as well.
Ola, over the last several years, it has been a real joy for me and your mom to watch as you grow up into the open-hearted, warm, and kind young lady. To watch you develop a very close and kind relationship with your older sister and form a beautiful group of your dear friends. I am so happy to see that you are always ready to help others. It was a great joy to watch your multiple talents evolving and your 110% dedication towards everything you do. From the elegance of your gymnastics routines to your courage and commitment while going on the snow in the cold, and mastering a gliding technique in the cross-country skiing. You show a great team spirit, good-heartedness in any activity, any project, or sport that you participate in. Over the last 6 difficult months, when the whole world has changed, our family of 6 lived under one roof for the first time in your life. During this month, we all have been learning the importance of being able to maintain positive attitudes no matter what. It was not easy, of course, but honestly, you have shined in it. And even more, you were able to display huge tolerance towards everyone in the family, a skill that many of us still have to learn, still have to master. Now that you have become a bat mitzvah, according to the Jewish tradition, you should be ready to accept responsibilities for all of your words and deeds. I'm sure you are fully prepared to do just that. You are doing that already. You have started doing that when probably you were 7 years old. So here's the list of your dad's advice for the years to come. Ask questions about everything you are learning. Here you may forget about your natural shyness once in a while, of course. Do not be afraid of making mistakes, even if it's geometry homework. Stay good-humored and laugh at yourself, even if others are critically watching you at this very moment. Accept when you are down or have difficult moments. Sometimes everyone has. Smile at yourself afterwards, and the discomfort of the moment will go away. Chasing your dreams and exploring the world may not be effortless. We all know that. Nurture and develop further the beautiful human attributes you already have. Be confident, but curious. Be energetic, but honest. Be compassionate and joyful. Try to be tolerant, kind, and thoughtful of others. Any small act of kindness crafted and launched by you will go a long way and will come back unexpectedly to your full surprise. Applaud achievements of your friends and people you don't know. You will enjoy their smiling faces in return. And finally, be natural, just be yourself. You can be sure that we, your parents, are always here to provide the support in your life adventures and challenges. Without exception, even if you want to watch your favorite movie, Parents Trap, for 27th time, we are here for you. Or maybe engage in a multi-day backpacking trip to Hawaii. We are always available and would love to do that. Please remember that regardless of what your parents say, they're not always right. Well, there may be just one exception when your mom speaks. We can do this for you today. Just try to listen to your intuition in choosing which path to follow. You have your dad's full permission to do that now and in the years to come. We love you. Mazel tov.
Polina, darling, I'm so proud and so happy for you right now. I have always known you are hardworking, responsible, and you could memorize an unlimited number of poetry lines. But even a year ago, I couldn't have imagined that you would have such a wise, mature, respectful, delicate, persuasive young lady standing in front of me today. A young adult, not just a tall teenager of my height and shoe size, but truly an equal to grown up in so many ways. And on top of that, you can sing. Undoubtedly, you are not only the first bat mitzvah in the family, but also the first one who can actually sing on key and read Hebrew so well, knowing the trop. My parents are Soviet Jews, whose parents went through pogroms in Ukraine and Belarus and moved to Leningrad after the Russian Revolution. My paternal grandma spoke Yiddish to my dad. My maternal grandma was very well known in the community as the best gefilte fish maker. Both of my grandfathers died during World War II, one defended in Leningrad, another one in the Gulag. But despite my Jewish heritage, when I was your age, while I knew a lot about the war and socialism, some about Stalin, I knew nothing about Judaism. Hebrew was a forbidden language. According to Karl Marx, religion was the opium of the masses. So my parents tried to shield me and my brother from anti-Semitism and related problems at school. I even didn't know the term Mitzvah. I'm so glad you started the family tradition in you. Thanks to your sister, Anna, we all got much better at learning about Judaism and follow the tradition. I'm so proud of both of you. Your dad and I became high holiday service goers. Your grandparents learned the Shabbat blessings, and we all love our cozy Friday nights with homemade challahs. Polina, with all possible determination, you went through Hebrew school, enjoying this new world through art, music, yoga, history, and the language. You amazed me from an early age with the beautiful pieces of creative writing. And now you've shared with us and the virtual audience your mastering of Dvar Torah. As almost every parent, sometimes I'm guessing from which side of the family you've got this or that. Over the years, you've surprised me a lot. With a natural ability to correctly hold a pencil and draw cartoons at the age of 2, and to cut them out at the age of 3. Or in kindergarten, when you spent all the long breaks on monkey bars, showing me your little hands covered in blisters and announcing a new daily record of going back and forth in one set. You started with 5 rows, then 15, and then in a month, it was 87. I used to think that all of your outstanding features came from your creative, kind, and talented dad and his parents. Some time ago, I decided to investigate. What if I also had some yet undiscovered talents I was not aware of that you genetically inherited from me? I tried to be like you. Yeah, I picked up clay, tried art, went to a rhythmic class, lost some weight, and even changed my hair color. Polina, I became a better person because of your presence in my life. And saying that, I am very serious. Polina, you already traveled the world, starting in a baby carriage. Not surprisingly, our friends and family and your friends are watching you now from so many different places. Russia, Israel, England, Germany, France, and in the United States, from North to South California and from Connecticut to New Jersey and North Carolina. I am very grateful to this tremendous support and recognition of the importance of this day for Polina and our family. Thank you all for being with us today and for sharing the joy of the moment with us. It's so important to have minutes of collective happiness nowadays. We are all now living through very difficult times. After 6 months of quarantine, many losses, and the infinite uncertainty, we ought to realize the importance of being and living in the moment. Polina, I'm supposed to give you an advice now. Anna, your wife's sister, being a role model for all in our family, asked me to tell you to work hard, to learn attentively, and to be kind. You should, of course, please do it. But most importantly, never postpone anything for tomorrow. You can do it today. Enjoy every day and every night. Work with joy. Travel when you can. Trust your intuition. Believe in people and in yourself. Read, enjoy nature, and meditate. In my eyes, you are the most delicate, beautiful, kind, hardworking, and smart girl, with a smile that makes me and your dad happy for 13.5 years. I'm sure you will have an opportunity to perform gymnastics routines in front of many people of different age. You will continue with art and sport, Russian literature and math, with all your existing and new responsibilities. You will achieve a lot, and please enjoy the process and be happy. Love you so much. Your mom. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
I'm going to ask if your mom and dad want to grab the 2 seats, Polina, that are just up there, because we're going to need them and your sister in a couple minutes, okay? I also just want to share a few thoughts with you on this day. I met you a long time ago when you were much smaller than you are now. And you were shorter than me, because you have grown so beautifully and so tall. You always flowed with this joy and really this deep sense that you love life. I don't know if you know that. You just are a person who is happy and joyful, and then that attracts people who really come around you because of your positivity. When Corona started, and we had to rethink everything about this got Mitzvah, what was so interesting is all the adults, right? We struggled. We were all upset. None of us knew what to do. None of us knew the steps to take. But you were resilient. You said, you know what, I've got this. And we changed the date, and you continued to practice. You continued to persevere. And you actually wanted to rewrite an entire Divorce Torah, which I can't even imagine. To be so beautiful to pick this moment. Because you really wanted to make sure that your words gave people some uplift and some joy and something to think about. And so your resilience and your belief that everything would be okay, I think, gave all of us hope. When I look at you, as somebody who gives hope, you also, I know, have brought so much joy and hope to the family that's around you. All of them struggled. Their lives were not easy, you know. And if your mom talked about your great-grandfathers, your grandparents who came to this country, you and your sister are really the actualization of it. You could have imagined that you just say, the daughter of our tradition, filled with so much knowledge and joy and what you really know, knowing that that was denied to so many members of the family. And so, what we hope for you on this day, as somebody who gives all of us hope, is that you never lose that sense of joy. You never lose that sense of resilience to be able to respond and to adapt to anything that may happen in the world around you. And that you live out that message of what you shared with us today. You are going to make the world better because you already did. We really, as these older adults in the world, we've kind of created a bit of a mess. We have, whether it's Corona or all the other things around us. But I have hope and so much confidence that you are going to make it better because of who you are and what you have to do. And so we're grateful to you for teaching all of us. And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to invite your sister to come on up, your mom and dad to stand with you. I want you to sort of hug each other. Normally we stand at the open ark. We can't do that today. But I want you to look at your family, not look at me, because we're going to give you, the cantor and I, this blessing that is one of the oldest in our tradition. And the parents recite to their children on Friday evening. And so you can picture those amazing challahs that whoever in your house is the baking. settled in a little more. So you're not looking at me.
And
You don't use any.
just
Blessing is really
before we offer the blessing, I would love to say a few words to you as well. Can you hear me, Polina?
We can hear.
We can hear over here.
We can hear over here.
Polina can
So
hear.
you
That's
can.
the important thing. So Polina, something I wanted to share with you that, a silver lining to all of this, because I haven't had the chance to get to know you since you were a little, was that we actually got to spend a little more time together, checking in over the past several months, and just being able to get to know one another better. And it's been such a joy. I've been so impressed by you this whole process, for reasons that so many people have already mentioned this morning, and especially today. And I'm very inspired by you and your strong concept of God and what God means to you in your life and in this world, and your role as a partner with God in this world, and your ability to express that and to inspire other people to feel similarly to you. And it's very easy to forget that you are just 13, and I know that means that there's so much more ahead for you, and I'm delighted to see what you do next. I know you're going to do so much in your life and in this world. So it's really our pleasure to offer you this blessing this morning. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
Polina, may God bless you and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May God's light shine upon you and be good to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Polina, may God always lift God's eyes to you. May you have a life of joy, a family who loves you and surrounds you, of happiness, good health, and may you continue to give all of us hope because of who you are and the good you do in the world. May you find that peace that we all have. And we all say together, Amen. Amen. And so all of you can go sit down, because we're going to now turn to some of the concluding words of our service. We take a few moments to turn to words of Kaddish, mourner's Kaddish, as we remember those who have passed away, those who are not with us on this day, that we remember and that we acknowledge and know that they are the reason that Polina stands here, a daughter of our tradition at this moment. We do have the name of a loved share. I'm just going to look through our wonderful Kapal, our community that's here in person, and you who are on Zoom or on live stream are welcome to share those names out loud as well. The prayer itself is on page 598. And so I want to invite anybody who is here who'd like to share a name, so please feel free to do so. And anyone who's joining us, if you want to also share a name out loud. We rise in body or in spirit as we share these words. Yit Gadal, Vayit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma Divrach, Yerutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chaye Kon, V'yomei Kon, V'chaye Dekol Beit Yisrael, V'agala Uvizman Kariv V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah, Mevorach, Leolam, Omei, Omaya, Yit Barach, Vayish Tabach, Vayit Ha'ar, Vayit Romam, Vayit Naseh, Vayit Hadar, Vayit Aleh, Vayit Halal, Shemei Jekudasha, Brechu, La'ela Min Kol Birchata, V'shirata, Tushbechata, V'nechemata, Da'amiran, V'yalma, V'yimru, Amen. Yeheshlam Rabba, Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu, V'yal Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom B'mromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol Yoshvei Tevel v'imru, Amen. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories bring us joy and blessing as we remember them. And so just a few concluding thoughts as our service ends in just a moment today, I want to thank our wonderful video production team who's here with us in person, and also our wonderful staff. Many may not realize, but Erin Boras and others have played a really integral role in making today happen. So we are so grateful to all of you. So what we're going to do, Polina, is sing this one last piece that celebrates the day of Shabbat, the Shamru, and bring up your sister as well, so you can help us make Kiddush and Motzi blessing over wine and challah. I think the challah and wine is right over there. And so the cantor, if you'll lead us in the Shamru.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'rit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat lidorotam b'rit olam.
Polina, if you want to lift that glass, and if you and your sister will share these words together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Amen. L'chaim. You took the beautiful challah cover. Did someone make these?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, they're beautiful. If you want to hold them up so everyone can see them, because they're really beautiful. If you'll share the blessing with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen. B'tei avon. You can take a bite. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you for being with us. There is a slideshow that we are going to be showing, so we invite those of you who are on live stream or Zoom to stay with us, so we can see some beautiful photos in just a minute. So whenever we're ready, take it away, so we can see those. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I'm not sure what happened. The video got hot. No, everything's okay if you want to play the video.
Удалось.
We have to do it beforehand. We can do it at the party. Вокруг поля будем танцевать.
Что это у тебя на порядке?